Hi guys, I will talk today about this is the second part about why I ask for uh, for help from office of the President of the United States, Mr. Trump. Um, it's very simple. It's very hard for one person to do what I wanted to. And but before that, I will like to tell you that I opened a couple of months ago. I opened a GoFundMe page. It's called Cold War Nuclear Secrets. And this page, I hope, will help me to um, kind of finance my project over the next 2 years. Um, the unfortunate, I do not have non-profit number. So as I said, unfortunately, everything over if I will be able to collect over $16,000, everything's going to be with a bill of 60% to IRS. This is unfortunate, but as I said, nothing I can do about it, and we will see how it's going to go. So the uh, let's start and talk why it's so impossible for one person to do it, not only financially, but I will start with the financial part. There was a gentleman in early 1980s, late 1980s, that requested information about his father. He was American father, and uh, from through Freedom Information Act. His father was some kind of intelligence officer. So he got his information, everything right. But you know how they do that when you get um, pages printed and so on. You have some of those uh, black marks on the page with covered names. So you have actually partially you have one thing here and another word open and so on and so on. But Freedom of Information Act by law is free. So people think, oh yeah, I can get stuff for free. But for instance, they charge you for printing of pages and so on and so on. So for instance, the gentleman who got information about his father got a bill for printing bill for $125,000. This is what freedom of information sometimes can cost. It's not the freedom of information itself, but bureaucratic situation. See, the bureaucratic thing, it's used as a weapon. You see, this $125,000, I'm absolutely sure, stopped this gentleman to pursue further uh, search for information and for the truth. So, as people say, secrets to open secrets, you have to require lots of money, and it's like a old can of something like meat, for instance. Like an old can of spam. You have to open it, but you need to have a can opener. And this can opener exactly is the money. So that's why for some people maybe it looks a lot, but it's not. So let's go further. And what is overwhelming for a person when you deal with Freedom of Information Act? Because you have to contact several things. For instance, I will take again my father's research, which is nuclear research. His colleagues part, I have no idea what happened. As I said, I don't know if they his children or whatever relatives he had. I think he had only one son, um, the same name as me, um, to Alexander as well. But the I don't know if they got any money, and I have no idea because they're all dead now. I don't know the children, but I'm talking about the people who invented things. And so, with these situations, when we're talking about Cold War, there's several things you should consider when dealing with. First, if it's to have to do with technologies that have dual, use, like civilian and military. It's always after that, after it's gotten to intelligence, it usually go to to Department of Defense. And so so there should be a record there. Then there should be um, things like, for instance, if it's intelligence for intelligence that work outside of the United States, the CAA. So there should be something that was left to Russian desk. and some kind of a document left. Then there is another thing. We're dealing with nuclear power, with duality of use. Then it means there's Department of Energy involved because it has this technology that has dual usage. So it goes under the secrecy of the Department of Energy. So then, because it's linear accelerators with use in new technologies, energy technologies, or medicine. They use, the I call it the guns against cancer sometimes. So it's like there's a whole bunch of. Then there's a stuff in the space industry and so on and so on. But most important is, as I said, it's for me. This is what I think. Actually, it's the stopping everything, getting out really fast. Is the technology of ionic beam that was, with my father's thing, uh, that is used in new generation weapons. Okay, so the it's military type of usage, which again brings uh, say it secrecy. But when we're dealing already with private sector, it's military technology or nuclear fusion and so on. There is a thing called tender. It means someone within military industry got a tender to produce things. So it means that this type of technology went to a company, right? Okay, to a company that would produce stuff that is really good and supposed to use this type of technology, which creates another thing. Usually, when you have a patent, uh, what does when company inquires somebody else's patent, they redo this in their own way and then go and take another patent for themselves. And this way, uh, de facto, the previous patent loses power. But this is how the technology are getting stolen. When you stole something, or I wouldn't say stole, but inquire in not really real legal way, and then you redo them into their own patent, and then pass it to a third company and so on. So there is, as I said, there is a snowball of things. Uh, I will tell you just one example. The insulin was sold to University of Toronto only for $1 patent in order to do people's good, and now you have companies making trillions of dollars because there's so many people use the insulin. And exactly what they did, they took it, the original formula, and then they start redoing it their own way and charge it $200, $300 for a shot. You know what I mean? Or for this how they call them insulin pens. Which cost like up to $200, $300 sometimes. This is how it's done. The same thing is with nuclear technology. You have something came from Soviet Union, then it's automatically rolled in some extra things, and not just, as I said, nuclear technology. It's going to move to a different level after it's being repatented in a different way. Okay, so if you know a place where this patent went, and then a place or a company repatented it, means they participated in a way of stealing things. In a way, yeah, there's nothing else you can say. So by finding these things, there's so many things done, and they're structured in a way that creates a secrecy. Plus, you have gangstalking, that is additional force to shut people up. You have massive, as I said, structure, already bureaucratic, where the patents used, and then you have another people that try to scare you that you don't go to a certain level and do things in general, or try to ruin you. Sometimes I have a feeling that actually this is exactly what's going on right now here in Atlanta. Anyway, but the this is how the things work. That's why if you employ a power that will have kind of a you find middle ground that it's acceptable. You see, the uh, the patent, my father's patent is from 1963, and it was beginning of accelerators. One of the first accelerators in the world was in Ukraine, Kharkiv. The city is called Petty-Khatki. We didn't know that because it was under the main street. There was a main street there. Now it's named after Landau. Even though I haven't visited the city for a very long time, 40 plus years, but as I said, there was a really there was a lot of secrets there, and one of the first, even maybe even first accelerator in the world was done there. It was hidden, as I said, under Main Street. And the point here is this: that time comes when people want to have the secrets unearthed in a way. So, do I want a conflict? No. Do I want money? Sure. But people don't know. You see, if somebody here, what I discovered one thing: if somebody steals something from you, if somebody steals $1 from you, they will spend $100 just to prove that they didn't. You see what I mean? Here is a bigotry is the worst sin. That's why when we're dealing either with companies, or private individuals, or people or governments, they will do everything possible not to look as a bigot, even though they can be. So that's why when you deal with things like this, you need to have someone who will assist you in a way. It doesn't mean that he will take your side, but I mean at least you know you can have some level of things done. And unfortunately, when I dealt in the past, I had to go to. I went in 1997 to office of Orrin Hatch. He was a senator, senior senator from Utah, and at the time, as I said, it was April 1997, and the his secretary said, "Well, he's not going to come out and talk to you. He uh, told you he says provide documentation of things. Believe me, it's impossible. When you deal with stuff that's regarding to nuclear process between Soviet Union and United States, nuclear word sets up a flags, so many flags that you will have, as I said, a red tape up your rear end so long that you cannot do anything about it. It's what it is. And uh, unfortunately, as I said, that's why you have to uh, see, uh, ask for assistance for specific powers. If I'm absolutely sure that he can refuse, and I don't have want him to do that. I mean, he has an office that deals with stuff like this for. I mean, I'm sure. So um, and it's actually is going to be really, really illustrative. Illustrative. It's you will see what's the deal. You will see by their behavior how they take it. Will they approach it? Will they cover it up? It means they are. They really stole it, and simply don't want to. Do they stop gangstalking? Will they stop, blacklisting me, things like this? Maybe they will, maybe not. I have no idea. Maybe it's actually blacklisting and gangstalking can increase because people don't like to be, kind of. So this is the whole thing, but I'm not talking about, you know, Trump. I'm talking about in general. Whoever tried to cover it up, whoever tried to blacklist me, whoever tried to blackmail me, whoever tried to push me, in a way, uh, they don't like to be, stuff like this, their own crap to be rubbed in their noses. And once you do that, you become massive enemy. Anyway, I will hope you, as I said, you visit my uh, GoFundMe page and uh, maybe share this video. But when we're talking about gang stalking, when we're dealing with the government, gang stalking um, should take a different type of concept, but it should be removed for a while, because when you deal again with the government, you fall into crosses of surveillance sometimes, because we're dealing again with nuclear secrets and so on and so on. And gang stalkers, they don't like to be in the light if somebody is following, I mean, if the government gets involved, because even though this pretty much can be same system, but they don't like to kind of show up and be seen. So anyway, I already talked for 15 minutes and 30 seconds, so it's too much. I hope I'm not bothering you, but as I said, I hope you follow my, I hope you follow my videos on this thing, and I hope really um, that the government will kind of help me. I hope, that I can, you know, imagine if Trump contributes to my GoFundMe page. It would be interesting. Anyway, have a good evening.